Welcome to the podcast that refuses to let you live on autopilot. This isn't about motivation quotes or someday plans. It's about real tools, clear decisions, and the strategies that turn intention into momentum. Your presenters are coaches and truth tellers who live this work. They help people break stuck patterns, cut through the noise, and build lives that actually move forward. No theory, no fluff, just execution. This is for people done circling the runway, ready to choose growth over comfort, ready to build their best life on purpose. Lean in. Here are your hosts, Christine Baylor-Goodlander and Melanie Olivieri.
Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to Collaborative Growth Coaching. I'm Melanie, and I'm here to do week 2 of Bold Moves. So if you watched week 2, or if you saw it live, color me this. What tiny moment of authenticity did you choose? And did you go through with it? Send me a quick DM. Let me know. I would love to celebrate what you did with you, or even what you thought of doing that you can go ahead and do this week. DM me. Hold yourself accountable to do it. So this week we're going to move forward with Bold Moves, and we're going to talk about choosing courage and what is success to us and how can we redefine it if we need to. And also the power behind making and taking bold decisions and steps. So come join me. Do you remember the first time you had to do something totally outside of your wheelhouse? Maybe you were working and you had to step up in front of a group of people and speak. Or maybe you were taking your child to daycare and you had to simply say hi to the other moms. It doesn't matter what it was. Along the line, you've been breaking the molds that you were originally in. You know, life puts us in those molds. We discussed this last week. And we kind of accept them for a long time sometimes until we start to go, but I want that. Or, oh, wait, if that person can have that, maybe I can have that too, or something similar. So we see those molds, we see those fences around us and we want to break through them. So we start making other decisions. And like the fleas from last week, who in a jar will only jump as high as the top, even once the top is taken off, we realize there is no top. We can go as high as we want. So I remember the first time I invested in myself as a coach. It was different when I went to school back in my 20s for nursing. It was even different at 50 when I went back to school for massage therapy. And yes, I'm over 50 by quite a bit at this point. When I went back to school for coaching, I couldn't hide. All my jobs all my life had been pushing me to step forward, but I always managed to keep a wall up between me and other people. A lot of that came down for me with massage. But the first time I went to invest in myself as a coach, I mean, my heart was racing. I almost let fear talk me out of saying yes, because this was for me a big, bold move. But I knew I wanted to help more than I had been able to help so far. And I knew I wanted to be the person people could trust to help them find their way and their doors. And if I couldn't open my doors, how could I help somebody else open theirs? And it lit me up to think about being a coach and working with people. And that's what got me past the fear and let me say yes. Beyond the heart racing, beyond the sweaty palms, it helped me say yes. So have you ever been there? I mean, have you ever stood on that edge between what's familiar and what sets your soul on fire? Let's talk about crossing that bridge. Our comfort zones, where we are now, they keep us safe. And there's a lot to be said for that. But they don't light us up. And there's a lot more to be said for being lit up. So comfort zone's kind of like that cozy blanket, that you cuddle into in the winter. It's warm and it's safe. And it's so tempting to stay under there sometimes. It really is. I get that. But if you hang out there too long, you're going to miss out on the adventure outside. Now, me personally, I stayed inside for a long, cold winter. And this year has been a long, cold winter. Spring's coming. We're feeling it. Summer's beyond that. Let go of the blanket. Put it down. Pack it up. Put it away. And look at that next adventure for yourself. What changes do you want to make? Because you can't make them if you're sitting there all wrapped up. You got to open up to the world. Growth follows discomfort. You can't grow from your comfort zone. You just can't. It keeps you safe. It keeps you in one spot. How can you grow if you never move from that spot? It's like a crab leaving its shell. You have to lean into the discomfort of the unknown, if we want to expand, if we want to grow. We have to find that new home, that new space that's just ours. And that doesn't mean we cut out the people around us. We include them in everything we do. But we still have to reach out for that space. And I get it can be scary, really scary. So how do we deal with that? Deal with the fear by understanding it's not a stop sign. It's not a red light. It holds us in place a lot of the times, but we can change that from a red light to a green light because that fear is saying that growth is available, that the adventure is there. If you were still in your comfort zone, you wouldn't be fearful, but you wouldn't be growing. So allow yourself to step forward and lean into that green light that says, yeah, growth's uncomfortable, but it's there. Take it, reach out for it, it's yours. If you're nervous, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. So I'm going to invite you to identify one area of your life that you feel stuck in, or one area of your life that you feel safe. Now think about that. Why would I invite you to do both? An area that you're stuck in and an area that you feel safe. Because a lot of times when you look at those two areas, they're the same one. And then think to yourself, ask yourself, what's one courageous step I could take today? Doesn't have to be a huge step. Maybe you always wanted to work with kids. So maybe you call a couple of daycare centers and say, do you need a volunteer? And how would I go about doing that? Or maybe you wanted to go back to school. Look up a couple of the colleges. See who's holding a course, even a single course that you're interested in. And see when it starts. It doesn't have to be a huge step. Baby steps get you to the big steps. And think about this. The universe doesn't reward wishful thinking. It rewards bold actions. Every act of courage creates momentum. Big ones, small ones, they all create movement and momentum. So let me ask you, what is success to you? The old paradigms, the old thinking that keeps us stuck is this society hands us this checklist, right? And it says, I have the job title, check. And I have the salary, check. And outsiders approve of what I do and how I live my life. Oh yeah, okay, that's great. How does it make you feel? I feel like a lot of us, it's just kind of like, yeah, okay. Is this all there is? It's not all there is. So if you could shift your thinking, what if success was measured by the amount of joy that you have in your life or the depth of connection that you have with others, be they students or clients or even family members? Because if you're more joyful, you can be more open with them and more loving with them. Or maybe it's the difference you're making in a part of society that you've always wanted to work with, not the numbers in your bank account. Yes, those are important too, but they're not the be all and the end all. Can you measure success by the amount of joy you have in your life? When I started, I got out of nursing, and you heard a little bit about this in episode 1 about going into nursing. When I got out of nursing, it's because I felt like every day when I went in, I was spending too much time with my clients, at least that's what administration said, and my clients were like, "I need more," and I couldn't give them more because of the way society was set up at that point. When I moved away from nursing, once a nurse, always a nurse, but when I actually moved away from the physicality of nursing, I went and did a lot of other things. I became a yoga teacher, I became a Reiki master, things that fulfilled me and helped me touch other people. When I focused on how many people I was touching, not just the numbers, but the lives that I was touching, that's when clients came more easily because I was stepping out of myself and I was redefining what success was for me and helping other people find theirs. Whether it was getting off the massage table and being able to walk without a limp because their backs didn't hurt today, or working with a coaching client who had that aha moment in one of our sessions. Those are so amazing on both sides. But I felt more fulfilled, which helped me to pass that on to the rest of the world. So I'm going to invite you again. This time, grab a notebook, put me on pause, grab a notebook and write down your definition of success as if no one else's opinion mattered. What truly matters to you. I'll be here when you come back. Living from vision instead of from circumstances means that you can chart your own course. It's like sailing by the stars and not right by the shore. It's like going out in the middle of the ocean, jumping off a boat to go snorkeling or scuba diving, rather than walking off the beach into shallow water. What is your vision? What would you like to create in your life? What does success really, really mean to you? And what's the power of bold decisions? Bold decisions create a domino effect. So imagine a line of dominoes, and that first one, that's your bold decision. And it initiates a chain reaction. It might feel like a small move at the time, but it's got the power to change your story forever. I had a client who she had her own business. And, so we had a lot in common in that way. She was terrified to ask for testimonials. And one day she just decided to start asking. So she did. She asked a few of her clients if they would give her testimonials, and the floodgates opened. The clients shared how deeply she impacted them, and suddenly new clients were coming in because her message was shared further. And she could feel how those changes had impacted her clients and the opportunities that were opening up for her to impact even more clients. So the domino effect. Start with one and watch what happens. Every single transformation, big or small, begins with one bold decision. It doesn't have to be a perfect decision either. It just needs to be made. What's the bold decision your heart's been whispering about? How about starting a new program? But teaching something at your local community center? What would be your bold move? It might be something as simple as planning that vacation that you've been wanting to take for so long with your significant other. Doesn't have to be business. What bold move can you make in your life that might initiate a change that leads you to joy? So here's this week's challenge. Choose one comfort zone stretch. It could be going live on Facebook. It could be going after that volunteer opportunity or a new job. It could be reaching out and asking someone for help. There's so many small decisions that can lead you to bigger decisions, to joy. Reach out to a potential partner, be it business or in your private life. Maybe there's somebody you were interested in creating a partnership with, a new business or a piece of a business. Maybe somebody that you'd like to join their facility and work with them. And maybe there's somebody you're interested in, but you've got back. You haven't said hi. Say hi. You never know what's going to be created from a simple hello. For your journal, if you journal. And if you don't, ask yourself this question. If success were already inevitable, what daring move would I make this week? If success were already inevitable, what daring move would I make this week? So pick up that bold decision and take the first micro step. You don't have to make that whole move in 1 week. You can. You really can. But you don't have to. Take a micro step. Make a phone call, send an email, look up the information online, say hello. Action breeds clarity and confidence. And then share that bold move. Put it on social media, DM me or tag me. And let's celebrate the breakthroughs together. Remember, your comfort zone is where your dreams go to nap. Now that you have dreamt them, your destiny lives on the other side of boldness. As you redefine success and make changes that only you can make, you become a magnet for others, for opportunities, for breakthroughs. Allow yourself to become that magnet. And if this episode has lit a fire in you, or if you know someone that would benefit from this episode, share it, pass it on, help others. And let us know, because we'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from you. Your courage could be the inspiration that someone else needs today. So I hope something in these last 2 episodes has called out to you. If you have questions, comments, please reach out. I would love to hear from you. Allow yourself to dream and allow yourself to take that micro step. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week. And I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.